Well, what do we have here? It's the mug that starts a million projects and never finishes them. Not today. Hello, my name's Lena. I gave up clothes for 2024 and I've actually stuck to it. So far, so good. So I thought I'd sit here and give you a little update about how I'm going, the dilemmas that I've faced, the hardships I have endured, not being able to buy all of the shit. I'm kidding, it's been totally fine. And just some reflections and future plans of what I have got in store for myself for the next 6 months. If you missed my introduction video, the kind of brief headline of why I'm doing this is that I started teaching myself to sew during the pandemic and I wanted to get better at it. I have had a spotted relationship with fast fashion during my 20s, and in my 30s I have been absolutely hell for leather on completely kicking the habit, and I came to the realization that while I love thrifting clothes, it wasn't necessarily solving my relationship with clothes, and I thought that maybe things could be even better than they are when we buy thrifted. The amount of low quality clothes on the market means that I don't think that the second-hand solution to fast fashion is the only solution, and I think we need a two-pronged approach that also re-empowers us to learn how our clothes work in the same way that most of us know how to cook a meal or to do some basic gardening and to do some basic maintenance on our cars. But what is weird that very few of us know how our clothes work or how to fix them when they break. So I thought this year that I'm calling the year of make do would be a great opportunity for me to document the process of learning how to mend what I have by completely taking off the table the option of buying new clothes, even that are new to me, so like secondhand thrifted clothes, and the opportunity to make some of my dream items. The rule is that if I see something that I really want, I have to make it myself. I am not allowed to buy it. And that has been a really big eye-opener when it comes to what I think I want versus what I'm willing to spend 18 to 20 hours making. It really sorts the wheat from the chaff, I have to say. So first off, I thought I'd just give you a little quick overview of how I think it is going after my very ambitious start. So first of all, I would say in general, it's actually going pretty well. The part of the challenge that necessitates me not buying any clothes that are new to me has worked. I haven't done it. Not even pants, not even bras. I think that it being a blanket rule for me has really helped. It's not something I even really consider. It's made my passing by, my moving through high streets a little bit more dull because I love going into charity shops and I still go into the bric and brac and the homeware sections and the book sections. But I did love rifling through the clothes, and generally I've just stopped myself from even doing that because I don't want to find like an unusually beautiful gem that I can't walk away from. So I haven't been doing that, which is a bit sad, but also it's made me realise like how uninteresting public spaces and shared spaces and high streets are if you don't want to shop. Like there's so little to do. So that's really galvanised me. And I've ended up going to a lot more museums, and like when I'm visiting a new place or I'm stuck somewhere. So for a little while I was delayed in Sheffield, and usually I would have probably just gone around the shops, but I ended up going around a beautiful art museum and stumbling into a exhibition on William Morris, who is fast becoming somebody I'm very fascinated by. So it's been really cool in that aspect. I also want to recognise that some of the reason that I haven't been as tempted as I usually would be is that I have purposely been steering clear and paying for the privilege to steer clear of a lot of advertising. So I pay for YouTube Premium. It is only a few pounds more than paying for Spotify, and I realised that if I paid for YouTube Premium I would get YouTube Music, which is better than Spotify, and also no ads on my YouTube videos, which has been an amazing transformative experience for me over the past couple of years. And I've really noticed this year with this challenge, it's really helped me not getting targeted by ads and such like. I've also started using Discord instead of Facebook, so I'm not getting any ads there to communicate with the people that I care about, which is mainly my patrons on Discord, and moved to WhatsApp as well rather than Facebook chat, which has been really useful. The only place I can't really get away from ads is on Instagram, but it is really easy to manipulate the ads so it stops showing you clothes. If you stop responding to it, it stops giving them to you, and you get some other shit instead. Notably, at the moment the algorithm really wants me to foster a child and buy nipple covers, but I'm taking that as a win. However, the other part of the challenge, which is making my own wardrobe, has severely been delayed and is a bit sad that I haven't really had enough time to do that. But it's because I'm achieving one of my other dreams that I didn't think that would come up this year and this fast, which is that I'm publishing my first big non-fiction book with a really big publisher that I never thought I'd get, and I had to seize the opportunity. Had I known that was going to happen in December, I probably wouldn't have started this incredibly challenging challenge at the same time as that. So I have been writing instead of sewing, and it's meant that I've had less to tell and share with you, but I hope that you agree that the payoff is worth it to achieve one of my lifelong goals. And I still have made some stuff. Would you like to hear about the stuff? Let's go. Now, contrary to last year's statistics, I've made an executive decision to completely discount hats in my count of how many things I've made per year, because the hat thing is getting really out of control. By my count, in 2024, I have already made 9 hats or hoods, some of which you can see on the screen here, only one of them being for me. They're really my go-to gift for people. And I am also doing a giveaway if you pre-order my book Half-Assed Human before the end of this month, where you can enter to potentially win a hand-knitted hat by me. And let me show you how that is going. So this is where we're at so far. And I haven't finished. I have lots of scrap wool that otherwise wouldn't be made into any other project, so I see no reason not to continue. So if you would like to win one of these hats, you're very welcome. They're all half-assed hats in that they're 2 colours. See what I mean? And I'm also using up scraps. So if any of these colours look appealing to you, let me know. Something that is breaking my heart a little is that I've been making these twin hats where they're 2 halves of a whole, and it's going to kind of break my heart to break them up. But maybe I should introduce the 2 owners of the hats to each other, and it would be like a great way to meet people. I don't know. So there's currently, I know I've got one downstairs, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those, and I imagine there'll be like double the amount by the end of the month. So that's happening. But bar hats, I have made 8 things. The first one being this pink and green vest, which honestly I loved when I made it, but hands up, haven't worn, and I am considering unraveling it to make something else just because I am not wearing it. I don't know why. The second is this mustard and pink jumper, which was actually one of my goals that I was going to make when I was making my resolution. So I'm really happy that I completed that fast, and I've been wearing it all the time. It's so snuggly and warm. And since that apparently Britain has excused itself from having a summer this year, I don't know what we've done, but it is cold enough to wear this jumper a lot. So here we are. Loving it, I guess. I made this colour block cardigan, which I absolutely adore, and may result in me unravelling the first cardigan I ever made. It's in exactly the same pattern as this one, but the sleeves are a little bit small for my arm, so it is kind of actually quite uncomfortable to wear. So because I love that cardigan so much, I'm thinking of unravelling this one and making it into something else. And that's something I really love about knitting, is that you can just reuse and recalibrate the materials into something else. Like, it's so hard to waste wool because you can just unravel it and make it into a completely different shape, unlike with fabric. So very cool. Then I made this vest for my friend Ra because she saw my vest and was like, I would love one like that. So she picked the colours and I've made it. My friend Sana also gave me these custom labels to sew into clothes, which I'm really loving. Then I made a prototype for a Ganni blouse because I saw everybody wearing them and I really wanted one. I will link all the patterns that I've used for all of the different things that I've made in the description below for any of you who are sewists, but I just don't want to say every single one on camera because it will take ages, and I don't want to bore the people who are just here to see what I've made rather than the makers themselves. But I tried to make this Ganni blouse, and I made it in some scrap fabric, and I don't love it on me. Don't love it. So I don't know whether I'm using the wrong pattern and maybe I should try a different pattern. But while this is something really trendy, I'm really glad that I didn't go out and buy a new one or spend loads of money on a second-hand one, because now that I've trialed it, which was basically for free because I had this fabric anyway, it's just scrap fabric, I realised that I don't know if it actually suits me. So that was a really interesting part of the make-do experiment as well, is being able to experiment and tweak things that are in style and on trend and see whether you actually like them without actually wasting any resources. Fascinating. Anyway, then I made this blanket for my friend Jen. This was my first delve into colour work, which was one of my resolutions as well. Colour work is when you just change colour on every row so you can make patterns with your knitting, which is something I would love to be able to do well. Can I do it well? No, not according to this blanket. While I think it's very cute and it serves a beautiful purpose, and my friend Jen really loved it for her baby, it just, no, I'm not doing it well. I've got a reel on Instagram asking people why I haven't done it well, what I've done wrong, but it's very wonky and I don't understand. So we'll keep going with the colour work. It's a work in progress. Then the last two makes that I've made have been a prototype for a dress and a dress itself. So I made this leopard print dress in exactly the same measurements and like proportions that the original pattern advised, and I learned that I am very short. And while I love this dress, it was too big and also far too long. I know that I added a ruffle to it at the end, but like this is what the dress is supposed to look like on like a normal height person, whatever normal is, and this is what the dress looks like on me. And you can see where it, like even without the ruffle, it ended like very low on my shin. So I ended up just making it into a maxi dress and leaning into that. But I'm really glad I did that experiment with some end of bolt fabric I found, because then when I actually came to using my new fabric for the Eras Tour dress, which you can watch the whole video up here about how I made it, I was able to tweak the proportions and make it so it did fit my proportions and my height. And I loved the cut of this dress. I will definitely be making this dress again in another fabric, and I'm actually low-key very proud of that dress. Very proud of it, actually, if I do say so myself. Anyway, for those of you who want an update on my bingo card, which are 9 challenges I've set myself to do throughout the year, I have now done 3 of them. I have done knit colour work, badly, but we did it, still get scratched off. Make an Eras Tour outfit. So actually this was supposed to be make a birthday outfit, but I was really busy working on the book and I actually didn't even have a birthday party or anything that I could wear or even have time to make a dress. So I just didn't, but I decided that the Eras Tour was my birthday. So I made an Eras Tour outfit instead. So we're crossing that off the list. And then the third one that I have done is visible mending. Now I've done this once under the guide of my friend Sana from Books and Quills, who sat with me on a Saturday morning and we like very carefully did a mend together. So here's a picture of the mend I did on a sock that wasn't mine. I do have the equipment to do it myself, and once I finish these hats I will get back to doing that, but I'm ticking that off the list because I have actually learned how to do visible mending. I'm kind of smug about it and it was really fun, so that's cool. Now let's talk about dilemmas I'd faced, and I didn't mean to, but I actually got my first big dilemma on camera. I was vlogging in London whilst wearing this beautiful denim jumpsuit by Lucy Eniac, and it fully ripped from the boob to the thigh. And I was stranded in London all day. I had a bit of a fancy evening do to go to that evening, and I know that usually under any other circumstances I would have honestly just popped into a charity shop and bought the first decent dress I saw and wore that, but because I'm a stickler for the rules, I instead spent hours looking for a pharmacy that sold a sewing kit, and then I spent a very sweaty 45 minutes in a public toilet naked because I didn't have any other clothes to wear while I was fixing it, sewing the hole shut while sitting in my pants on a toilet. It was my most glamorous moment, thank you for asking. But I'm actually kind of glad, and that mend has held up. So I think that's a win, and a bit of a unique situation given, but it has inspired me to carry a sewing kit a little bit more often around with me because that was ridiculous. That shouldn't happen. Anyway, another dilemma I found is like the general churn of my wardrobe. So I have over the years often given away or sold items from my wardrobe throughout the year. That's just a regular thing that I do. And this year I'd been holding off on it because I wasn't allowed to buy any new clothes. I was like, what am I doing getting rid of clothes? Like I shouldn't do that because I can't add to it, and I don't know. And anyway, recently I got over that and I've sold a couple of items on Vinted. I actually think I've got some live right now if you want to go and look at my Vinted. But I've kind of got over that in my head because I'm like, no, if these clothes don't work for me or don't fit me or don't serve me, I want to pass them on to somebody who's genuinely going to be wearing and enjoying them. And just because I'm doing this challenge, like, shouldn't stop me from doing that. And I probably should have a slightly smaller wardrobe anyway. So what are you going to do? But that was something I'm like, I am thinking about this differently because I'm doing this challenge. And I thought that was interesting, the kind of scarcity mindset set in for a little while there. And then the final dilemma, I think, is very just me centric. I don't know if everybody would have this problem, but I have had way less time to sew than I thought because I've been working on the book, which is totally fine, a joy, a privilege, but it has meant that I've still been dreaming about the clothes that I might make and like having fantasies about it and thinking about it all the time and seeing like really inspirational people on Instagram make amazing clothes. So I have been buying the patterns, albeit digitally in PDF, so there's no waste there, but I have been buying a few patterns that I haven't had time to make, and I've been accumulating some secondhand and some new fabric that I've just been really excited about, and really I know what I'm going to make. I really want to, and even though I wouldn't have the time in the foreseeable future, I just still leaned into that. So I don't know if that's bad or good, because I'll definitely use all the fabric, but I do need to calm down now. Like, no more fabric. I need to actually make stuff with the fabric. So there's been that, especially when you're on Vinted and there's like this duvet cover that's like really cool, and it's, you know, and it's secondhand, so like what's the harm, and it's probably going to go and then you're never going to be able to get hold of it again. Anyway, no more duvets for me. I've got enough duvets to make stuff with. I'm banned. Okay, finally, I thought I would end with some of the things I'm excited about for the next 6 months of this challenge. The most exciting fabric I have accumulated is this fabric here. It's kind of like heavyweight, beautiful, static, so not stretchy velvet from a very small, beautiful brand called Mary Benson. And I'm only trying to buy new fabric if I know I'm definitely going to use it and use every single scrap of it, and that it's from small businesses that I think are doing their best ethically. So I would love your ideas as to what I should make this fabric into. I think I have 2.9 meters and it's absolutely bloody delicious. So that's the fabric that I've got that I'm most excited about. In terms of things that I am making, I have tickets. Sit down. Are you ready? I have tickets to the Jane Austen Festival in Bath this year, and I will be going in a garment of my own making, and I am so viscerally excited about it. They have like a ball. I'm going to go on a walking tour. It's going to be great. You can laugh, but I'll be having fun. So I have some old duvets of my own that I've used to use a lot and have like a lot of like emotional memories that I think would make really good Jane Austen dresses. So I'm going to attempt to use this pattern, which is the only Regency pattern I could find that also was adjustable, because I don't know what size I'm going to be in September. My body fluctuates a lot in size. So I'm going to try and make this pattern. And if you'd like me to make a video about it, let me know, because I am going to be doing it anyway. And I'm really excited about it. I'm also going to a Chapel Roan gig in November, and because I enjoyed making my Eras Tour dress so much and I know everybody dresses up for those, I will probably maybe make something for that if I've got time. And then also I've got a wedding to go to in autumn, and I'm thinking of maybe lengthening the Eras Tour dress and giving it like a ruffle at the bottom so that it's warmer, but mainly, and because I think it would be a bit more like formal if I added a big ruffle at the bottom. I'm wearing that. So I'm kind of excited about modifying the dress that I've just made so that I can wear it to more different occasions. And I don't just want it to be my Eras Tour dress. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to keep wearing it. So I'm excited about that. It's a very exciting time. If you've been participating in my Year of Make Do, let me know in the comments below and let me know how you're getting on. And if you'd like to follow my journey in a more immediate way, make sure you come and follow me over on Instagram, because I post a lot about what I'm making there. Instructions on how to enter to get a half-ass hat are also below. And we should all take a moment to thank the Gumption Club, who tip me so I can keep making these videos for free for everybody to watch. So thank you so much to them. If you would like to see if you might want to join the Gumption Club, I'll leave the links to that below, but you get loads of extra fun things. I've even started a big Discord now, so we're all hanging out in the Gumption Clubhouse Discord, which I'm having a great time with. We're doing a wicked read along at the moment. Yeah, I think that's everything I've got to say. I'm going to keep you updated, but so far I am making do and making, do, and I'm really enjoying it. Cool. Frostlight out.